India has put its plan to acquire 30 Predator-armed drones from the US on the back burner, on account of its focus on indigenous development, as well as the prohibitive cost involved. Pentagon has been informed of the decision. Although the Narendra Modi government on February 9 banned the import of drones, acquisition of unmanned aerial vehicles for defense and security purposes are exempted. The decision to put the acquisition on hold was taken as India already has some capability in armed drones. It is currently upgrading the Israeli Heron drones. The Predator platform with armed payload, as in missiles and laser-guided bombs, costs nearly $100 million apiece, but the platform has an endurance of nearly 27 hours. While the Indian Navy and Army have significant use for the drones for domain awareness, the Indian Air Force was skeptical of Predators due to congested airspace, and the presence of surface-to-air missiles and radars in Pakistan-occupied Kashmir. The Air Force is in favor of purchasing more fighter aircraft. DRDO is also expected to unveil its medium-altitude long-endurance drone latest by March. Turkish Aerospace Industries announced that it will be tying up with Pakistan Air Force-owned Pakistan Aeronautical Complex to develop National Combat Aircraft, also called TFX, a fifth-generation fighter aircraft that will replace the F-16 operated by both countries from 2030 onwards. PAC Camera work share in the joint development is yet to be revealed. But it is unlikely to have any major work share in the development program. Pakistan Air Force plans to have all fifth-generation aircraft fleet by 2047. The TFX program is the first step towards the induction of fifth-generation fighter aircraft by PAF. The TFX prototype will be unveiled in 2023 and first flight is planned by 2026. Pakistan has a domestic program for fifth-generation fighter aircraft called Project Azam, but PAF is struggling to go past the study and concept phase to full-fledged preliminary design review due to lack of aeronautical design experience in the country. Young scientists at the Indian Defence Research and Development Organisation have been tasked to design and develop a new class of load-carrying unmanned aerial vehicle that is capable of operating from high-altitude bases for undertaking logistic operations along the Himalayan frontier. The high-altitude operating, vertical takeoff and landing drone, driven by 8 propellers, will have the ability to be launched from altitudes of up to 15,000 feet and the capacity to airlift up to 50 kilograms of cargo over a distance of 10 kilometers. The project is being undertaken by the DRDO Young Scientist Laboratories, a recently formed group of 5 specialized research establishments. Cargo drones are being looked at as being force multipliers. Besides enabling faster and continuous supply to troops deployed at high-altitude areas and difficult-to-reach locations, they can be used for reconnaissance and mapping. In future, they can also be modified for combat operations, like supplies of essential items such as rations, fuel, ammunition and medicines to forward high-altitude posts. The use of UAV for logistics in the mountains came into focus when the standoff between India and China began along the line of actual control in 2020. Foreign Secretary of India, Harsh V. Shringla, on Tuesday flagged off the first consignment of humanitarian aid of 50,000 tons of wheat to Afghanistan, in the presence of Afghanistan's ambassador to India, Ferid Mamundzay. We are extending our humanitarian assistance to Afghanistan, in the form of 50,000 tons of wheat. We are flagging off our first consignment of 2,500 tons today, Harsh V. Shringla said. In a ceremony held at Amritsar, Shringla along with Afghan Ambassador Ferid Mamundzay and World Food Programme Country Director Bishor Parajuli flagged off the first convoy of 50 trucks carrying 2,500 mt of wheat assistance from India to Afghanistan via Pakistan. In response to appeals made by the United Nations, the Government of India has decided to gift 50,000 mt of wheat to the people of Afghanistan. The shipment is a part of the commitment made by the Government of India to supply 50,000 mt of wheat for the people of Afghanistan. The wheat assistance will be delivered in multiple consignments and will be handed over to the United Nations World Food Programme in Jalalabad. Russian President Vladimir Putin ordered the deployment of troops to 2 breakaway regions in eastern Ukraine after recognizing them as independent on Monday, accelerating a crisis the West fears could unleash a major war. A Reuters witness saw tanks and other military hardware moving through the separatist-controlled city of Donetsk after Putin formally recognized the breakaway regions. Putin's announcement drew international condemnation and immediate U.S. sanctions to halt U.S. business activity in the breakaway regions and ban import of all goods from those areas. The measures were separate from sanctions the United States and its allies had prepared if Russia launched a full-scale invasion of Ukraine, White House spokesperson Jen Psaki said. Ukrainian president, who received a solidarity call from U.S. President Joe Biden, accused Russia of wrecking peace talks and ruled out territorial concessions. Linda Thomas-Greenfield, U.S. ambassador to the United Nations, told an emergency meeting of the Security Council that Moscow's recognition of the eastern regions was part of its attempt to create a pretext for a further invasion of Ukraine.